Okay, hello folks, my peoples, where you at? My name is Mark, this is Why I Hate the World. Very quick stream for you guys tonight. It's just a couple things I want to talk about. I found this story that kind of blew me away when I first saw it, and I figured we should probably talk about it. Because, folks, I do not like anti-vaxxers. I really have no patience left at all for anti-vaxxers at all in the slightest. Anti-vaxxers really piss me off. I'm just gonna straight out say it. If you are an anti-vaxxer, then please turn me off. Stop watching. I don't care. Now, there's plenty of reasons, legit reasons, to not get vaccinated. If you have, say, medical reasons, something like that, your doctor says you're not supposed to get vaccinated because you're a high risk kind of thing. Maybe you've got some kind of chronic condition and they recommend against you getting vaccinated. That's perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable. There are millions of people out there who can't get vaccinated for that reason. And in order to protect those people, those of us who can get vaccinated should get vaccinated. And this isn't just for the Rona. This is for every disease out there that has a vaccination. Everything from measles to polio. You should get vaccinated because there are people out there who cannot, who are unable to. And in order to protect those people, you should do what you can in order to promote herd immunity, and the best thing you can do for them is to get vaccinated. But there are just some people out there who are just, for whatever reason, don't like it. Now, here's the thing about it. I mean, some people claim that it's a religious thing. I mean, yeah, I guess if you have a religion that says you're not supposed to get medical treatments or some shit like that, like similar to how, like, say, Jehovah's Witnesses don't get blood transfusions. I mean, I guess that's all right. I still think that's bullshit, but whatever. But what I really do not have the patience for are conspiracy theorists who are just anti-vaxxers. I just no more patience for those people at all, because they're basically making this decision based on bullshit lies and putting everybody around them at risk by not getting vaccinated for. And like I said, not just for the coronavirus. I'm sick of those people. Because of them, the coronavirus is now a permanent fixture in the American landscape. Now we are just always going to have people dying from the coronavirus just forever. And we're always going to have to get more and more shots. And the older you get, you're going to have to get more and more. And it's just like having the flu now, except instead of a flu which kills 18,000 or so people a year, it's the coronavirus which kills 50,000 people a year. It's fucking bullshit, right? And it's because of anti-vaxxers that we weren't able to basically get a handle on this thing. And now it's just a permanent fixture. It's just going to be there forever now. It's evolved past our point to eradicate it. Thanks a lot, assholes. Really appreciate that. Why am I bringing up vaccines and anti-vaxxers? Because I saw this amazing story, which I want to share with you guys here. Let's go ahead and turn on my window so I can revel in this awesomeness with you guys. What happened after a man got 217 coronavirus shots? 217. I'm reading that correctly. 217 coronavirus shots. Kind of amazing, wouldn't you say, since the anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theorists out there keep saying that we're all going to drop dead any minute now from the evil jab. This guy goes out, gets 217 of them, A-OK. But let's read through this article a little bit. German researchers have examined a hyper-vaccinated man they say received more than 200 coronavirus shots without any noticeable side effects or harm to his immune system. Without any noticeable side effects or harm to his immune system. I just want to rub that in just a little bit. If any of you at home are maybe a little on the fence about vaccinations, or maybe you're living with somebody, maybe you have like a crazy uncle, Trump supporter, shit like that, who thinks that vaccines are the mark of the beast or something, pass this article around to him. Right? 217. That shit's crazy. Their findings, published Monday in the Lancet Infectious Diseases, a medical journal, indicate that coronavirus vaccines have a good degree of tolerability. The researchers said, although they noted this was an isolated case of extraordinary hyper-vaccination. Yeah, I would say good degree, of tolerability. 217 doses, and the man is fine. I'm pretty sure that's proof of something. That the shit's not going to kill you, at least. This 62-year-old man came to researchers' attention when German prosecutors opened up a fraud investigation gathering evidence that he had obtained 130 coronavirus shots in a 9-month period, far more than recommended by health authorities. We learned about this case via newspaper articles. Kilian Schrober, one of the study's authors, said in a statement, then we contacted him and invited him to undergo various tests. He was very interested in doing so. Man agreed to provide blood samples, including new samples of results from past blood tests. Blood samples have been frozen in recent years. The man had received 217 vaccinations for private reasons. German authorities did not file criminal charges. What's actually going on is the guy got 217 doses, vaccines, because he was getting vaccines and getting the cards filled out for other people. So basically, yeah, it's fraud. And that's probably why they went to go arrest the guy. Because you're not supposed to do that. That's basically he was getting the card filled out for other people who didn't want to get vaccinated. So in his own way, this guy was helping anti-vax assholes spread coronavirus around. Going into the study, researchers had speculated that having so many shots could cause his immune system to become fatigued. Vaccines create immune memory cells that are on standby, ready to rapidly activate the body's defenses in the event of an infection. What does that mean? Become fatigued? It means this. It basically means that they'll stop responding because they see it so often that it basically just thinks this is normal. So when you actually do contract the disease, it doesn't send out any more antibodies because it goes, oh, well, I've seen this a million times. And that's kind of what they thought would happen, but it looks like it didn't actually happen, huh? Let's read on. But in fact, the researchers found that the man had more of these immune cells known as T cells than a control group that had received the standard 3-dose vaccine regimen. They also did not detect any fatigue in these cells, which they said were just as effective as those of people who had received a typical number of coronavirus shots. He wasn't super duper immune, he was just as immune as anybody else, which makes perfect sense. Really, I mean, it's kind of amazing that there weren't any negative side effects or that he didn't undergo this sort of, what they just said, fatigue in his immune system. That's kind of amazing. There's no reason to think that he would be any more immune than anyone else, though, because he's getting the same vaccines as everybody else is. He just got 217 of them. So there's no reason to believe that it would make him like super duper hyper immune. Right? But still, it's kind of amazing that the man is fine. That there was no, I mean, you would think some kind of negative side effects with that many doses, right? Just kind of goes to show how safe it actually is, huh? Overall, we did not find any indication of a weaker immune response, rather the contrary. Okay, one of the authors of the study. Even by the 217th vaccination, researchers say the shot still had an effect. The man's antibodies against the coronavirus increased significantly as a result. Researchers say the man insisted on receiving another shot during the study. They took blood samples, which helped them determine how his immune system was responding. Researchers made it clear that despite their findings, they do not endorse hypervaccination as a strategy to enhance adaptive immunity. I would hope not. Although they could not find any signs that the man had ever contracted the coronavirus, they said they weren't able to establish a causal relationship between his hypervaccination regimen and avoiding infection. More than 60 million people in Germany has been vaccinated against coronavirus. Most of them received several doses. The United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention recommended last month that people 65 and older get a second dose of the coronavirus vaccine made available in the fall because they are at a higher risk of disease than the virus. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, you get the point. The point is 217 injections, and he's absolutely fine. No negative side effects per se. He didn't become magnetized. He didn't die of myocarditis. That's the thing that all the anti-vaxxers are saying. Myocarditis, that's heart disease, where your heart muscle dies, that they keep saying that everybody dies of when you get the vaccination. That didn't happen. He didn't turn into a human mobile G5 hotspot. or whatever, he was absolutely fine. I would like to share some reactions I saw to this on Twitter, because since we live in a hell world where every single fucking thing is politicized now, we've got plenty of weirdos on Twitter who have a lot to say about this actual story here. Let me just open up all my links. This is 5 times August. Just so we're clear on this, if tens of millions have adverse reactions, injuries, and death from the COVID jab, it's all anecdotal. But if one German guy with no name or face gets 217 shots, it proves the shots are safe. Now, I can understand this reaction because I find it hard to believe that someone who got vaccinated 217 times does not have any adverse side effects either. But this just kind of illustrates how conspiracy theorists and anti-vaxxers in general are basically scientifically illiterate. Just because one person has a reaction doesn't mean everybody else will. So that's the first thing we got to remember, right? When it comes to anything having to do with medicine, your results may vary. That's why these types of studies, they use control groups. They do the studies over months and months and years in order to isolate reactions and making sure that, because you can't just say like, okay, this medicine, you give it to one guy and it cured it, and then you give the medicine to another guy and it doesn't cure it. Well, what happened? It could be lots of different things. It could be something that's genetic. It could be some other medicine the guy was taking. It could be diet. It could be exercise. It could be a combination of all of these factors. Could be that it just doesn't work at all, and the first guy where it worked, it was like a placebo effect. So they need to isolate all of that stuff whenever they develop a new drug, whenever they develop a new treatment, whenever they develop a new anything. And that's why it takes months and months and years for drugs to typically go through this testing process. And plus, they need to make sure they're safe. They need to make sure that you're not going to take a medicine for something and it's going to make your fucking ass cheeks fall off or something. And that's why it takes a super duper long time. And that's why Operation Warp Speed with the vaccine and all that was kind of a miracle of science. The fact that they can do all of that in 6 to 8 months, get something out the door that's even halfway effective and doesn't kill you, is a miracle. And the fact that it actually works and you don't die from it and it's not causing flipper babies or anything, that's a miracle. That's a testament to modern science right there. And any of these anti-vaxxers, when they just don't understand this shit. They're looking basically for Satan in everything. They're looking for evil in everything. They think everything was caused by demons and shit like that. And so, yeah, this reaction is natural. I think it's natural that, even me myself, when they first announced it, I didn't believe it either. I said, oh, yeah, okay, I'm not taking that shit until some other people took it. Well, you know what, though? By the time it was approved for people in my age group, millions of people had already taken it. I had nothing to fear. And I could totally understand the sort of adverse reaction when you hear something like that. It's, oh, they developed this vaccine in 8 months. Something, your first instinct is something must be wrong with it, but that's not the truth. So that's what these guys don't understand. That's what conspiracy theorists don't understand. It's like, no, it's not just a bunch of guys in white coats standing around throwing darts at a wall and hoping shit sticks. There's the scientific methodology here is robust. It's not, it's not just all guesswork in a white coat. Right? There's actual methodology going on behind this to ensure that the shit doesn't kill you and that it actually works. I thought that one was interesting. Another tweet, this is from someone named Simon Abet at Beta. Shocking, 217 COVID-19 vaccine shots failed to improve a man's immune response, new study just published in The Lancet says. Note, a man from Germany whose identity remains anonymous received 217 COVID-19 vaccine shots between June 2021 and November 2023. Note that extreme case served as a unique experiment on the effects of repeated vaccinations of the immune system. Note, a study published in The Lancet found that despite this hypervaccination, the man experienced no adverse health effects, but his immune response did not improve. Note, the study confirmed 134 of the vaccinations through official documentation, while the remaining 83 were self-reported. I just want to kind of show you how did this guy basically misrepresented what that article said. Now, what he's saying here is technically the truth. But notice here the misrepresentation. Very first line of this tweet. 217 COVID-19 vaccine shots failed to improve a man's immune response. That's not what the article says. The article does not say that. Okay? The article says that his immunity is virtually the same as someone who's gotten 3 booster shots, is what it said. It did not say that 217 shots didn't improve the man's immune response. No, it did improve the man's immune response. It improved it in the same amount that someone who took 3 shots did. So that all that really proves, you don't need to take 217 booster shots. You only need to take 3 to get the exact same effect. And all those other ones past that didn't do much to improve the man's immunity. Now, we know from reading the article that we just, because we just read it, that it actually, even the last one, did something to increase his antibody count. But that doesn't make you any more immune to it. Right, you just have more antibodies. So if you were to catch it, you would currently have more antibodies in your bloodstream that would be able to deal with it, but it wouldn't make you immune. So that's, people don't really get what immunity actually means here, right? Like, if you actually catch a disease and then afterwards you're immune from the disease, what does that mean? That means you have antibodies to fight the disease off. You can, and oftentimes do, catch the same disease again. It's just the next time it's extremely mild because your body's primed and ready to fight it. Some diseases, that's all you need. Polio, for example. That's it. That's all you need in order to stop polio, is just to have a vaccination there that creates antibodies. Other diseases like COVID-19, not so much, because it mutates all the time. And by the next time you catch it, it's mutated into some other form. And your immunity isn't really as robust there. So it's not as simple as just saying, oh, the more booster shots I take, the more immune I am. That's not really how it works. But you see how this tweet misrepresented that. Made it sound like the shots aren't effective. But they are effective. They're just not any more effective if you take 217 of them versus 3 of them. Just wanted to point that out there, right? Moving on. One more. Here's a guy. Says, check on him in 15 years. The Blaze, which is Glenn Beck's little organization. Hyper-vaccinated German man claims he got 217 COVID shots in 29 months with no side effects. This guy replies, check on him in 15 years. Well, of course, the man is 62, so in 15 years, he'll be 77. Right? So he's probably going to be super old and maybe not super healthy by the time he's 77. I just like how this guy here just has no idea what's going on, who this guy is or how old he is. Check on him in 15 years. It's like, you know who will be dead in 15 years? Donald Trump. You know who will also be dead? Joe Biden. You know who will also be dead? Mitch McConnell. Right? Because it's like, these people are old. It's like 15 years from now, they're all going to be gone. And statistically, this guy who's 62, in 15 years, he's probably going to be gone too. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just thought that shit was funny. It's like, yeah, of course. Check on him in 15 years. He'll be dead. Of course he'll be dead. He's fucking in his 60s. 15 years is going to be like 80 years old. This one I actually thought was genuinely funny at some point down the road. This is, of course, from the 1985 classic RoboCop. Did RoboCop come out in 1985 or was it 1987? Might have been 1987. Anyway, if you haven't seen the original 80s RoboCop movie, by God, stop what you're doing right now and go watch it, because it is the best movie ever made. Moving on, this is from a response to Andy No. Andy No, as you all know, is a conservative grifter. A German man received at least 217 COVID-19 vaccine shots. A response to him from a guy named Jado. I can attest this isn't real. There is no way he would survive this long after that many doses unless he had supernatural powers. Now, why is Mr. Jado here? Why is he convinced that this is a fake story? Because we have been listening for 3 years now to every single crazed right-wing lunatic has been telling us how the vaccine is essentially the frickin' mark of the beast. And that's the problem. I've got a couple of responses here. One example, this wasn't really the tweet I wanted to show you guys, but I can show it to you anyway. V-AIDS. Welcome to V-AIDS, dummies, we tried to tell you. So what exactly is this? Okay, this is basically, I'm not going to read through every single one of these little things that this person, I don't even know who this is. This wasn't the tweet I wanted to show you. But I wanted to talk about this, V-AIDS. What is V-AIDS? Basically, vaccine AIDS. This is the latest conspiracy theory going around in the tinfoil hat circles. The idea that the vaccine to COVID-19 is giving people a version of AIDS, if not AIDS. It's the stupidest thing ever on the face of the earth. It's so fucking dumb. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. This is from 2021. Back when people were claiming that the vaccine would turn you into a human magnet, as you can see here, this is a lady from my friend's church on the other side of town who took the Pfizer jab, literally magnetized. She's got a couple of metal things sticking to her. Of course, no one really in real life got super magnet powers from taking a vaccine. If that happened, I mean, you would think some people would have kind of exploited that for monetary gain, right? You think like, I mean, if I took a vaccine and I got like superpowers with it, first thing I would do is that I would like go on TV, right? You would see me on like the Tonight Show. I'd be all over the place. You know, I'd turn that shit into a nightclub act, right? I'd be like walking up like walls and stuff. Like I'd be a fucking superhero. I'd be like Magneto, like in real life. I mean, fuck it. Dumb as hell. There was no actual proof that the fucking vaccine turns you into a human magnet. That's the dumbest shit ever. Here's a person claiming that the vaccine gave her son a heart attack. Saved lives. People were lied to about the efficiency of the jab. People got COVID, jab or no jab. My son suffered a massive heart attack and died after the second jab. Only 42 years old. A single dad with kids. Your words are a stab in my heart. You know, folks, that's sad if that's true. We have no way of knowing if that's true. But if it is, it's very sad. However, millions upon millions of people have gotten vaccinated. Somewhere around, I think it's 70% of the entire country, at least in North America, have, in the United States at least. I can't talk about Canada. Probably higher in Canada, but in the United States at least, it's something like it's over 70% of people have had at least one vaccination. So if the vaccine caused heart attacks, then how come we haven't seen all of those people die of heart attacks? Why is that? I mean, yeah, it's sad that your 42-year-old son is dead. How much did he weigh? Did he have heart problems before this? Was he an athlete? I mean, 42, you're kind of entering that age where this kind of stuff can catch up with you. When you're a kid, when you're in your 20s or your 30s even, you can basically do all the fun stuff you want, eat all the fried chicken you want, smoke like a chimney, drink all the beer you want, and you're absolutely fine. You'll bounce right back. You hit your 40s there, that's when you start paying for it. That's when you got to actually start paying attention to things like cholesterol, right? You better quit smoking. You better start watching your diet. You better start doing some push-ups once in a while or something, because that shit's going to catch up. You got to start paying attention to things like cholesterol, high blood pressure. You got to watch your salt intake. This is just what happens when you get older. You can't just be eating, 16 pizzas a week and shit with extra cheese. And no. So, yeah, I mean, it's sad, but we don't know anything about this case. I mean, first off, for all we know, this person here could have just made this up, right? Or it could have very well have been an actual side effect. I'm not going to rule that out either. It could very well have been an actual side effect from the vaccine. I think they said something that there is a very slight increase in the instances of myocarditis when it comes to people who take the vaccine, right? Very, very slight, but it's like extremely low, and you actually have more danger of developing myocarditis from COVID itself than you do from the actual vaccine. But even if it is extremely low, that does mean that it could happen to some people. So it very well could have happened to this person's son. I don't want to belittle them and say that it's not a valid concern. It is a valid concern. However, in the grand scheme of things, the risk is acceptable. The risk is acceptable for the fact that how low instances of this happening actually are. And the chances of you dying of that versus you dying of an actual COVID-19 infection, I think the risk is acceptable. Because you'll get this kind of thing from people occasionally who will have like real life stories. Oh, I took this and blah, 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 right? Yeah, it's true. We shouldn't belittle these people or discount their stories. But at the same time, we should understand that their stories are outliers. And it's like, well, that sucks. But life isn't fair, I'm sorry. And even if I had a history of heart disease, I would still get vaccinated. Because you know what also causes heart attacks? COVID-19. Here's one more that I want to show to you guys here. Here's a video about a guy claiming that... Well, let me just say what the man... let's just show what the man wants to say. This is from Watchman News 1776, so you can kind of guess what his politics are. Proof that the jab has a microchip to track your every move. The Bible calls it the mark of the beast. Mark of the beast, huh? Let's listen to the this witness here talk about the mark of the beast.
Take the day off.
Does it hurt? Like, is that really what they say it is? Like on TikTok?
Yeah, it's not. It didn't hurt, but I got a fever and chills and stuff like that. I wasn't feeling too good.
No way.
Yeah. And a little bit sore, but now it's good. Now it's good. It's last week. The only problem...
That was a dick thing, by the way. I don't know about you guys, but when I got vaccinated, that shit hurt like a motherfucker. So, come up and poke him in his fucking vaccination thing. It's like, bitch, what are you doing? That shit hurts. Moving on.
And a little bit sore, but now it's good. Now it's good. It's last week. The only problem is that everywhere I go, everything is trying to connect to me, man. Like Bluetooth connectivity.
What do you mean?
I got Bluetooth connectivity. I get in the car, my car is trying to connect to me. I go home, or my computer is trying to connect. Like my phone is trying to connect. Like everything all the time.
How do you know they're trying to connect to you? Like
because I keep getting this bloody notification. Check this out. Everywhere I go, I keep getting this notification all the time.
All right.
It's not.
Now, let's read exactly what that says. Bluetooth request pair with AstraZeneca.
Pair with AstraZeneca? What the fuck?
Yeah. So I keep saying cancel. No.
Hey, what happens if you connect to it?
No, man, I didn't try it. I'm scared. I was.
Hey, everyone is asking how you're doing.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's not me that they're asking about. It's you. Are you feeling okay? What about the connectivity? How is that working?
The connectivity is still there, man. I don't know how to turn it off.
Yeah?
Yeah. Check this out. See that TV over there?
Yeah?
Okay, if I walk up to it, it's gonna try and connect to me. Watch this.
That's a cow, man. Let me see.
There it is.
What?
Yeah. Everywhere I get the same message.
Is it just this TV?
Nope. I walk away. Goes away.
Oh my god. And you don't feel any vibrations in your body? Nothing?
No.
So, this is, of course, bullshit. This is not true. This video is fake. You can name, like, your device anything you want to name it. Like, you can name your phone AstraZeneca, whatever, and then try to pair with somebody else. Okay? And that's what's going on here. So he's walking up to the TV. The TV's trying to pair with his phone that he's named, or whatever device he has that he's named AstraZeneca, blah, 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 blah. It's not true. All right? It's bullshit. This is like a prank. And, of course, the Christian anti-vaxxers have, like, fallen for it. Because they fall for anything. All right? Watchman News 1776. I know that. Let's go ahead and turn this off. I think I've made my point here. Right. But you notice that I could go through that entire thread, and there's absolutely no one pushing back on it. that's the other thing, right? This is a very interesting little phenomenon that you'll see with conspiracy theorists and stuff like that. The people who actually push back on conspiracy theories get banned. If you were to go on that guy's thread on Twitter and if you were to reply back to him, this is just a hoax, this is not true, this is a trick, blah, 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 that guy would block you. Because that's the advantage of social media, right? That's what makes social media so enticing, is that you don't have to listen to anybody that you don't want to listen to. You don't have to debate people. It's a little bit different than in the Web 1.0 days where you'd be on a forum or something and you would make some weird ass claim and somebody could come on and call you out on your bullshit and there was nothing you could do. You had to actually view the response and you couldn't kick the guy or whatever. You had to get a mob to do it or something, right? A little bit different in the social media days. You just ban anybody that you don't agree with. Somebody says something that doesn't align with you politically, block them. Somebody says something that pisses you off in even the slightest little amount, or somebody says something that debunks your conspiracy theory, block them. You don't have to listen to them. So that's the problem with social media, is that they become increasingly denser and denser echo chambers. So you don't even see, if you go to Twitter, if you go to Reddit, stuff like that, you don't even see people now trying to debunk stuff like this anymore, because if you just try to, you just get blocked. So it's like, well, why even fucking try? So that's the thing about this shit. So no one even pushes back on it. So no one even bothers to tell this person, hey, this is bullshit. Hey, this isn't real. Right? Hey, this is a trick. It's a parlor trick is what it is. And now there will be people who will believe for the rest of their lives that this is a legit video of a man with a microchip in his blood. Why? Just think about it for 2 seconds, okay? Before we move on, because I don't want to beat a dead horse here. But just think about it for 2 seconds. Why would your microchip have Bluetooth in it? First off, how can they make a microscopic Bluetooth like emitter? Does that exist? Microscopic? I mean, I know they can make them pretty damn small, but can they make them microscopic? That's some fucking Star Trek shit right there. That's like nanobot kind of Star Trek-y Matrix style Star Wars fucking fantasy technology, right? Nanobots are very much not a thing nowadays. Like the nanobots that they have now are like extremely primitive, made out of like, sugar molecules and shit. They don't have like full on like machines like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of fucking machines going through. But no, that's not a thing. That doesn't really exist. That's Star Trek stuff. So no, there is no fucking vaccine with like, and what's it going to do with Bluetooth? What's it going to connect to? Like, what orders are you going to give the vaccine? What? And this shit like this has led to all kinds of ridiculous anti-vax conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories that it's a freaking microchip that releases diseases like on a timer, and that's what like all these people are getting like long COVID and stuff. It's really just like diseases released on a timer from a microchip and all this other shit. Or that's the mark of the beast. You just saw even in that tweet we just did right now. Oh, it's the mark of the beast. All this other just bullshit. Here's the other thing, folks, right? What are they waiting for? Okay, so let's actually entertain that notion that, okay, really there is a microchip in everybody's like bloodstream now. In 70% of the population who've gotten vaccinated, there's a microchip now. What the fuck are they waiting for? Why not just turn the microchips on and turn us all into zombies and just take over? What's the fucking rush? 70% of the people in the country have gotten vaccinated, right? So what, 30% are left? So can't you just can't you just mind control the 70% with the vaccine zombie chip to go kill the 30% of the holdovers? Like, what the fuck are we waiting for then? Like, why does it always take decades and decades and decades for these evil, nefarious plans to come into fruition? What the fuck is the holdup? It's because it's not real. And that's just what really gets me, is that even today, it's been 3 years. 3 years. It's to the point now where COVID is like not even a big deal. Everybody's already caught it. It's because there's still people out there who like just can't let go of this idiotic fantasy. There's still people out there that are raving against things like mask mandates. We haven't had a fucking mask mandate in like 2 years. There's still people that wear masks, and I still see people who get pissed off at other people when you wear masks. I mean, it hasn't happened to me personally, but you see it online and stuff like that, right? It's like, why are people so fucking angry at this shit? Why are people still, even to this day, go to the conspiracy threads on Reddit, go to our conspiracy, go to any of those, right? And you'll still see people today spreading anti-vax conspiracy theories, still spreading this stupid bullshit. Oh, you have V-AIDS and all this other crap. Oh, it's just there to control people, blah, 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 blah. It's like a religion. And I just have no more patience for these fucking people. So I just want to say one more time, if you are an anti-vaxxer, stop watching me. If you're an anti-vaxxer, stop watching me, because I don't care about you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to debate you. I want nothing to do with you. I don't even want my video to get views associated with you. You can please just go fuck off, because I'm sick of you motherfuckers. Because of you, millions of people around the world are dead. Because of assholes like you. So, fuck you if you're an anti-vaxxer. Fuck all anti-vaxxers. You can kiss my giant hairy butt cheeks. And, Merry fucking Christmas, I guess.
Hello folks, if you like what I do and you want to support the channel, please consider buying something from my Etsy shop, supporting me on Patreon, liking and subscribing, and checking me out across my social media links listed below. Thank you all so much, and see you next time.